This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
Welcome into another episode of the Fantasy Roadshow. Happy Halloween. We are your hosts per usual. You can call me Truck. You can call him Kulz. You can find me on Twitter at fantasy_truck, or you can find him on Twitter at Kulz_sports. Support the show while you're at it. Follow us on Twitter at Fantasy Roadshow. Check out the Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com. As always, this episode is brought to you by Rule 1 Proteins. Go to www.rule1proteins.com, enter in Roadies40, promo code Roadies40 at checkout to get 40% off. Happy Halloween, everybody. Kulz, how you doing, man? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, man. You look great.
How's it going? Oh yeah, thanks. You know, I'm over here in a parking lot on my way to Dayton, Ohio, and I got my full mask on. People are walking by looking like I'm a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I love it. It's outstanding. I can't really get my hat to fit.
Yeah, it doesn't work with the headphones.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, I'm gonna take the mask off. Happy Halloween, everybody.
It wasn't a very spooky trade deadline.
No, it wasn't.
Nope.
Yeah, I was hoping for more moves. I was hoping for some bigger offensive pieces to get moved. It turns out it was mostly defense, right?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay.
Did you eat any candy today?
I had a lot of Reese's. Everywhere I went that had a bowl of candy, I always grab the Reese's, and that's what I got. So, not much.
I've had zero candy. I didn't know where I went. Had candy, so it's all good.
Well, you should get you some candy, Kulz. Tis the season.
Tis
the season.
Force it.
No.
It's that dream is dead. I'm at my apartment just chilling. There's no going out just for candy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're on the road. I see. Where are we at?
Yeah. So I am on my way to Dayton, Ohio, back to going to the OHIO for the week, for the rest of the week, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be staying at a hotel out there, doing some local routes, and then back home over the weekend.
Love it. What do we usually put in the comments?
We usually put thank you all for joining. We appreciate it, and all questions and comments are encouraged and will be addressed at the end of the episode.
Questions and comments are encouraged
and will be addressed at the end of the episode.
Address them at the end of the episode.
And then we usually put a little plug in for Rule 1 Proteins because they're the best company on the market.
Yeah. All right. Rule 1. Boom. Love it. Thank you all for joining. Got it. Yeah. Rule 1. Maybe I should taste review a protein right now.
Ooh.
We need to up our pushing Rule 1.
Our promo game.
Our promo game. So I'll do that later. I'll do that here. Little teaser for later in the episode. I will do a taste review. We're gonna get you all set up with them tonight. So we'll reach out to Tony, get that all moving, and then we need to just hammer out taste reviews and stuff like that.
Oh, I'll be slamming some protein shakes.
Yeah, on the road, baby.
Oh, get some protein bars.
Protein bars, yeah. They got some good protein bars. Maybe here after the episode, when I do a taste review, we'll go on the website and just kind of scroll through and show people different products, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
All right.
Speaking of, what did you want to jump into anything or no?
Nope.
I was going to say, speaking of that, it's kind of a light episode today. We're going over week 9 waivers. And do you want to get right into it? You want to hit that drop?
Yep.
Pick them up! Boom shakalaka!
Okay.
There we
Kulz is
go.
having fun. He's having fun with the drops. I love it.
Just getting us fired up.
Hell yeah. So yeah, week 9 waivers. It's bit on the drier side as of recently. I know we had a couple good weeks of waiver wire pickups, but we want to try to structure this episode a little differently. We feel like we haven't been putting out the best waiver type episodes for everybody out there. So we're kind of going to be talking in depth on the players that are available in the majority of leagues. So anywhere from the 50 to 30% rostered, we're just going to mention right now in the beginning of the episode that, hey, these guys are available in some leagues and you should definitely check, but we're not really going to be talking in depth about them. And those players are Jahan Dotson, Josh Downs, Chuba Hubbard, Amari DiMercato or Marty DiMercato, Jake Ferguson, and Kyler Murray. These are all guys that are very highly rostered, but aren't rostered in enough leagues, in our opinion. So definitely go out there. These guys should not be on your waiver wire. They should be immediate pickups. But did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just, I mean, what was the percent ownership on those? Still above less than 50?
Less than 50, but above 30. So in that 50 to 30% range of rostered. On waivers, you don't want to talk about anybody over 50%. Those guys are hardly ever available, but right in that 50 to 30, that pocket right there, it's the majority of experienced and competitive leagues, they're not available. So like the leagues that Kulz and I are in.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add on that. So we've been doing our Hitch Hiker and just like haven't felt like we found a good groove, and I think some of that was like there's a lot of variation in these leagues and what waiver wire looks like, whether it's 8 to 12 teams, 14 teams, like every league is different. So we're trying to figure out like what is the most realistic list of players that is available to, the most standard league, which would be 10 to 12. I don't know how many, like a 5 to 7 player bench, something along those lines. So, so I think that is really helpful just because some of these guys, like you just mentioned, they may be on the waiver wire in an 8-team league that has a short, roster. However, who would you be dropping to pick them up? You know what I mean? So I think that matters. So, yeah, I think this is, a good place to start from. But as Ryan talked about, pretty weak waiver week, week. But we'll get into it. It'll probably be a shorter episode. Just because there's not a lot of really action out there. Yeah.
So let's start right off with running backs, and there's only one guy on my list. Okay.
Wait. Should we do? Never mind. Okay. I was gonna say let's do the deadline first, but we'll do that after.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So back to the running backs. There's only one that I have on my list that I think is worth adding this week, and that's Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette was just picked up by the Buffalo Bills. He's rostered in only 3% of leagues, so he's basically out there for everybody, aside from the leagues that preemptively picked him up last week. A lot of our leagues are like that. He might not be out there, but Leonard Fournette. How impactful do you see this addition to the Bills being? I mean, with James Cook, do you see any value there long term?
I want to hear what your answer is first.
So for me, I like, if you're, don't pick him up thinking he's going to produce for you right away. But if you're winning, if you're like in first, second, third place, even fourth place in your leagues, and you want to stash somebody that in a few weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks from now, he's found himself a nice little role on this offense. I think he's going to be worth starting in a couple weeks from now. Just right now, I wouldn't be picking him up thinking that he's going to be a startable asset in the short term. But I would love to stash
in a few weeks. What do you think that looks like? What do you think his role looks like in a few weeks?
I see his role being legitimate. He'll be the goal line back. He'll be the short yardage, but James Cook, I don't think they had the envision of James Cook being like a 3-down back. They made comments early in the offseason saying like, yeah, he's capable of doing it, which we've seen him do pretty well, but I think they've been missing that thumper on that team, and that's what Leonard Fournette brings to the table, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I agree with you. I think that I would stash him if it's a super deep league. I'm not like going crazy to go get him. I don't really think there's a lot of value there. He's going to be touchdown dependent. Like you mentioned, he's got the goal line work, you'd imagine. So I think he's going to be what Latavius Murray is, just 2.0. So a better version of what they have with him, because he can receive better. And he's just Leonard Fournette. I don't know. He's, been on teams that have won Super Bowls as of recent. He's just, a professional, solid running back. So, we'll see what shape he's in. I think it'll take some time to learn the offense and just get in shape, like you mentioned. He's just a big boy. That's why I say that. I mean, I've seen his career very closely, seeing as, I went to LSU.
Go Tigers.
Around the same time as him. And just like, he was an 18-year-old man, right? Like, of course, at the age of 18, he was always just pretty like jacked, but he was always, an off season of not being foot on the gas, of almost like Lacey, like how he would show up a little thicker. Granted, Lacey was addicted to Chinese food, but Leonard Fournette's just like a big, thick guy. So, how good of shape is he in? We'll see. Hopefully, I just don't know how much he's been training, right? That's the only thing I have to say. I'm not saying he's been, crushing Chinese food. I'm saying that hasn't been, practicing 5 times a week, playing in games. Yeah. So has to get into game shape. I imagine he's not too far off because he's just a freak athlete. He's an absolute beast. So, I think it's a goal line, maybe short yardage, like you said, but I think he's going to be a very good football player for the Bills, but fantasy wise, touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, he gets like 2-3 catches and then finds the end zone. So, I mean, if you're in a deep league, I went out and got him in one league that's really deep, but
yeah, I'm curious to see what the Bills themselves, the coaching staff, what they're envisioning signing him. You know what I mean? Like what do they see this situation becoming later on in the season? I'm intrigued to see how that develops. But that's the only running back I have on my list. The running backs I mentioned earlier, that Chuba Hubbard and Amari DiMercato, like we're not going to talk about them in depth. We've talked about them for weeks and weeks and weeks, and sure, they might be available, but for me, Leonard Fournette is available everywhere, and that's just kind of our opinion on him. So,
yep. Marty D.
He had 20 carries last week, bro.
Yeah.
Watch out. All right, so moving on to wide receivers, there's 3.
Now watch out.
Watch out.
I've been watching out since we've heard his name the first time, and I will continue to watch out.
Okay.
Especially this week with Clayton Tune against Cleveland. Definitely going to watch out this week.
Yeah. All right. So 3 wide receivers I have on my list here. It's Rashid Shaheed. He's rostered in 18.4% of leagues on ESPN. It's Demario Douglas, rostered in only 1% of leagues, and Khalil Shakir, rostered in 0.2.
Yeah.
So these 3 guys are pretty much available everywhere. Rashid Shaheed obviously had the blow-up game, I think over 150 yards, only a couple catches. He's that deep threat for Derek Carr and the Saints, but, we've seen it time and time again. Derek Carr loves to throw deep. Yeah. So what's your gauge on Rashid Shaheed? Let's talk about him first. I mean, I'll start. I really like him. Like, he seems like kind of like that flyer for me that he's a flex start, that boom or bust type of guy. But if you need that those explosive plays, and you're in a deep league, I like Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, I want to. I'm trying to Google real quick a stat of his that I read. Basically, I read that you should start Rashid Shaheed against teams that play zone defense.
Oh, okay. So that's one thing I wanted to dive into, that that differential between zone and man, which teams play better, and who's more effective against the zone or man. So yeah, I haven't really dove into that too much, but if you have anything, that would be great.
Yeah, I need to find it, but his numbers against zone is like insane. Whereas Michael Thomas is the guy to play. If
Yeah.
it's man to man. So
Well,
I'll have to look at it later. But yeah, I saw the numbers there and it was like egregious. So all those good games that you're seeing out of Shaheed where he just blows up, those are all coming against primarily zone defense.
Yeah.
Zone defense type teams. So
Yeah, and he's been good, man. He's had a good this past 3 games. He had over 18 points, and then he had the game that he didn't get as many points. He still had 8 targets 2 weeks ago, and then last week 150 yards and a touchdown. Three solid weeks for production wise.
Yeah, in a weird way, his skill set kind of caters to Derek Carr's. Like Derek Carr, just like I wouldn't call him like a good deep ball thrower, but he like is sneaky a good deep ball thrower. Like he's like he puts together these 300 plus games because he has like those 60, 70 yard just bombs. You know what I mean? Like it's not, I don't know what it is, to be honest. It kind of fucks with my brain a little bit. Like, are you a good deep ball thrower when you connect on one of those or 2 of those a game? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know if it's lack of consistency. I don't know what it is. He's sneaky, a good deep ball thrower, and Shaheed's skill set caters to that. But yeah, let me look it up. So he had week 8, wide receiver 8, week 6, wide receiver 12, and week 1, wide receiver 12. So those are the games I imagine against zone defense teams, which would be Tennessee, Texans, and Indiana. Interesting that those are all the AFC South as well. So I don't know, but no, I'll look up the stat from earlier.
Yeah. All right. Well, what about the other guy we have on this list is Demario Douglas. I know you were pretty big on him coming into the season. Do you want to talk about him at all?
Yeah, I mean, he's talented. He's a talented slot. He's athletic. So I think we're going to see a lot of him. I mean, it's just he's still on a team in an offense that I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Like, they're bad.
Well, Kendrick Bourne, we could talk about this. He goes down. Is that an ACL, torn ACL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kendrick Bourne, the number 1 wide receiver for the Patriots, goes out. He's done.
28 years old.
Yeah.
Not really that good to begin with.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was the number 1 receiver. He's gone.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying, like, that's how I look at him with an ACL tear. It's like, what does his road back look like? How effective will he ever be? Should I drop him on my fantasy team, in my dynasty team? Maybe.
Yeah.
Unless you want him.
No.
I'll trade you for a 5th rounder right now.
No, I'm good. Not even worth the last round pick. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, last week, Demario Douglas had 7 targets. So, yes, you're going to see production from Demario occasionally, but
it's workload,
yeah, from workload volume, he's gonna have the volume there. But like Cole said, we've been on this train for a couple weeks now. We're just fading all Patriots. We don't want any Patriots on our team. It is what it is. It's just this offense is hard to trust. So
yeah, I mean, the fact that like we're looking at Pop Douglas as the guy to pick up is like very telling. It's like, all right, so we're looking at Demario when they just paid Juju the same amount more than Jacoby Myers got paid in Vegas. And then Tyquan Thornton, who they spent, second round draft capital on, who was having supposedly an outstanding camp last year, gets injured this year. Like, those aren't the guys we're talking about. So will one of them rise up? Probably not. But that just goes to show you, like, what are the Patriots doing evaluating wide receivers? That team's just fucked, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 decades of winning finally is coming around full circle, and they're dealing with some struggles. So, so we're not picking up Demario Douglas, but if you are in a very deep league, there's a world where I could see him being rostered. So,
yeah, I mean, I'll probably pick him up in one league that we're in together where it's super deep and I have a ton of fab. So, like,
there's hardly ever anyone on the waiver wire.
Yeah, so, like, I'll pick him up there. I have him on my taxi squad, and we'll be, cheering for him. But do I think he does? He's just, he's on a dead offense in my mind.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. All right, what about Khalil Shakir, Buffalo wide receiver? He had a very active was that a first quarter or first half? I think it was the first quarter of last game where he was just getting peppered.
Yeah, I think he had 6 targets, 4 catches, 61 or 91 yards, something like that.
No, 6 targets, 6 receptions for 92 yards last week.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. That's the role that they drafted him for. So to see him, succeed there, it's the Isaiah McKenzie role. So, which he never really broke out in. So hopefully this is their guy, and this is the guy in that offense that continues to perform there. It's like, we know everyone's role, hopefully, and that they kind of get the wheels in motion on that offense. And, Diggs out wide with Gabe Davis, slot / tight end Kincaid, and then Shakir is that, like, streak up the middle, make big plays, quick out routes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like Shakir. I'm probably going to be in our deep leagues. I'll be looking to pick him up. I think he's definitely worth a roster spot. I'm not trusting him in a lineup yet, but we'll see how this progresses.
Yeah, I think it's Shaheed, Shakir, Pop in that order.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. Shaheed is definitely my number 1 wide receiver pickup on the week.
Yep.
In our format. All right, well, that's wide receivers and running backs. Let's jump to tight end. How about Trey McBride? We talked about him last week after Zach Ertz went down with that season-ending injury, right?
Yeah. No, it's not season-ending, but he's on the IR.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I thought it was season-ending.
I don't think so. IR quad.
Oh, yeah. Well, either way, Trey McBride, 14 targets, 10 receptions, 95 yards and a touchdown. And he's getting an upgrade at quarterback. Is that safe
Not
to say?
This week. Tune's starting this week.
Oh, he is. Tune's starting this week, and then Murray the week after.
Yep.
Okay, so dealing with 1 week of Clayton Tune, but
against the Browns.
After that, against the Browns, so you probably wouldn't want to start him anyway. But once Kyler comes back, I mean, Kyler had a great connection with his tight end when he played. I think Trey McBride has a lot of value. I am looking to pick him up in every league that I don't have a stud at tight end, even as an extra piece. As a backup tight end, I want him on every one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah, I love him too. I really always have. So it's good to see him succeeding in the role that he played in college and can play for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of his breakout, and he's going to be really good for quite some time. So,
yep,
he's a He's a buy him now. Buy him now while you can.
LSU got 14 seed. They're the highest 2-loss team in the first college football playoff rankings.
Oh.
Alabama's 8 seed, so it's going to be 8 versus 14 this weekend. Just
what time's the game?
6:30.
Oh, it's the night game on Saturday? Oh, hold on one second.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, it's sometimes the audio cuts out. I cut you cut out and I couldn't hear you. What'd you say it is, Saturday night game?
Saturday night, yep.
Nice. All right, cool. We're looking forward to that. All right, the only other tight end I want to talk about is Taysom Hill. We've talked about for weeks now, and he just continues to score points. He's scored over 12 points in each of the last 3 weeks. His most being last week in 22. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown the week before. They got Chicago this week. Like, I would be totally fine with Taysom Hill in my starting lineup if I needed him. I'd feel comfortable with that this week with them taking on Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know. You know how I feel about him. I don't have much to say. He'll disappear at some point this year. That's why he's always on the waiver wire to start the season, is because no one can ever trust him. So he has a few big weeks every season and then he disappears. So I just don't like being left holding that bag. So I generally never touch him.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and usually it's he has a good game and then a few bad games, and then one good game and then a few bad games.
People don't draft him, Ryan, because he's not reliable. Like, how many? Let's look at his history. Like, was he drafted in any leagues this year?
I doubt it.
Yeah, so like there's a reason why, and there's a reason why we're always talking about him. Is
Of
because
course.
he has these games every year, and then this is.
But what I'm saying is
his
he
history
usually
repeating itself.
Yes, but what to me he isn't usually able to get a streak going or have multiple games back to back to back where he's being highly productive. They're trusting him at the goal line. He's scoring touchdowns, like 12 points, 16 points, 22 points. Like I'm just saying, against a bad defense in Chicago, I could see them, if it's working, they're winning games and he's performing well. He's scoring them points. Like,
yeah, they should have been doing this forever, but they don't. So
yeah, well, maybe they are moving forward. That's all I'm saying. That's a possibility.
Like, here's 2021, week 13, 24, week 14, 24, week 15, 9.5, week 16, 0, 17 and 18, 17.4 and 10. So like there's a good stretch to end the year. One game he just didn't see any action, and never mind. That was when he was starting quarterback, because he had 100% snap percentage. So that's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I don't even recognize his. So here, like 33 in week 5. This is last year. 33, 4.5, 10, 8. And then he kind of goes dark. And then week 13, another 13.3. And then again, he ends the season strong. It's just like, there's a reason why no one ever drafts him. So, yeah, if you're willing to take on the risk of him putting up 3 points like he did week 3 through 5, then go ahead and grab him and start him. I'm just not one of those guys that likes to sit there with a 3 spot in my lineup. So I imagine you can find better options, but like Ryan's saying, if there is ever a time to take a swing on Taysom Hill, it's this week. So
yeah,
but yeah, I agree, dude. Like, this should be his role. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
They haven't had a good quarterback since Drew Brees. Like, Derek Carr is horrible in the red zone. So yes, this should be the role. Is it going to be? I don't know. Are we going to do this whole fucking dance again? And how long are we going to do this dance? His whole career? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't have
Yeah.
the answer to that. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and through the last 3 weeks, small sample size, and I have a feeling that they're, if it's not broke, don't fix it type of deal, where maybe they found a little pocket to where they want to use him, and he's
I hope
worth
so.
a roster
I
spot.
like him as a player and a person. I do a
Yeah.
lot. I don't like him as fantasy football player. I just never go there.
Yeah, I understand. It's too risky. Way too risky.
Yeah, I mean, like 22.46 was last week, 16 and 12 the weeks before. I can find the 12 and the 16 player. I can typically find a guy who has a good likelihood to score a touchdown. Trey McBride last week, that was my streaming tight end. He's on most rosters if I don't already have Andrews Kincaid. So I just think that I'm always confident in finding the guy that goes undrafted, and then your Logan Thomases. That's a skill that I have. So I'd rather find those guys and get that 12 and 16 out of them when their floor is maybe 7 to 9, as opposed to Taysom Hill, who will give me 3 points or zero. So I don't know. I know what you mean. I like him. I like him as a football player. I think he should have that role, and he should, dude, they were giving it to Kamara on like the 3 and in, and he gets stuffed. Why are we even doing that? Just let Taysom Hill bulldoze his way in there.
Kamara
has
is not
the
a punch
threat.
it in type of running back.
I mean, he can, but why even do that? Why not just go with Hill, shotgun, and then have a read option type play where he can dump it to, Jimmy Graham, Forrest Moreau. I don't know. Anyways, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's those are the tight ends. Those are the wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. What about quarterbacks? Real quick.
This is interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting because
go ahead.
Well, you had Kirk Cousins injury. Dobbs gets traded there. That's why Tune started for the Cardinals with Kyler, hopefully coming back next week. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I like Dobbs in Minnesota. I just think he had a tryout with Arizona. Clearly he passed it, and I think he can throw the ball enough to get those really talented receivers the ball. And then he brings a dynamic with his legs that they never had before. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. They literally had nothing to lose in trading for Dobbs and seeing if he can add a dynamic to that offense that makes him good. I mean, people forget that he literally won them a playoff game last year.
Yeah.
What happened? He had that game completely won, and then there was was it a fumble?
I can't recall.
They beat the Jaguars. The Titans beat the Jaguars in that wild card game, and then I forgot how the Jaguars came back. It was Josh Allen rip. I don't remember. It was egregiously bad to where Dobbs did just enough to win the Titans the game, and then somehow they lost. It was ridiculous. But anyways,
yeah.
He then they're 1-6 or 1-7, but he's done enough from the quarterback position to why not take a risk and try to save our season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got great pieces around him, and he could actually be a good quarterback for Minnesota, and they could win a lot of games, and he's going to put up numbers. He put up numbers on Arizona.
Yeah.
He's the number one quarterback ad. How do you feel about Will Levis? Will Levis is coming out party last week.
Yeah, I don't like
throws
him.
4 touchdowns. You don't like him?
No, I think I don't. I think I wasn't impressed with his 4 touchdowns. Like,
You weren't?
yeah, that's outstanding, but a lot of that was DeAndre Hopkins being wide open.
Of
And
course.
so, yeah, I think he's going to struggle really badly. And I think
Even though he's still throwing to DeAndre Hopkins, though.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it on Thursday night against the Steelers in Pittsburgh, where you're like, oh, never mind. This guy kind of sucks.
I mean, flash in the pan.
One of those touchdowns, he threw it behind the guy, like egregiously. Was it Hopkins's last one where it was like way behind him? Like, it's not a good throw. That ends up in a touchdown because DeAndre Hopkins is a fucking stud. So the only thing that like his saving, like, is he better than Brock Osweiler? Is he better than who else? Was Brian Hoyer one of the Texans quarterbacks? No, was it
probably? I mean,
Ryan Mallett. Is he better than these guys that Hopkins has had in the past? Like, probably. I mean, it's worth a shot. The Titans have nothing to lose by like letting him go out there and fucking sling the ball. And listen, like, Tannehill was too much of a veteran quarterback to throw into triple coverage to Hopkins. So Hopkins wasn't getting those targets. Levis will just say fuck it and sling the ball, right? Like, that's just the type of quarterback, and like, he has nothing to lose. So you may have that aspect, but at the end of the day, like, he's gonna be, these professional defenses are gonna be scheming up game plans against him. And if you're not awesome, I mean, you're seeing it with Stroud now. So everyone thought Stroud was amazing, but now that there's game film on him, NFL defenses are scheming up ways to stop his strengths, and you're seeing him struggle. He's not adapting well and figuring it out. He's struggling. So, you know, that's just the nature of being a rookie quarterback in the NFL, is like, you're gonna off defenses. There's gonna be enough film. Word's gonna get out on, you know, you can stop him. Like, he does this well, and you can stop him by doing this. And if you don't adapt on the fly, you're gonna struggle. So, I mean, Levis 4 touchdowns would be like, I'm not impressed. I think he's gonna struggle.
Yeah, and what, you know, on a waiver show, talking about waivers and quarterbacks you should pick up, like, realistically, the reality of the situation is, if you're in a 1 quarterback league, there's better options than Will Levis that are on the waiver wire. If you're in a 2 quarterback
100%.
league, you have to pick him up because every quarterback should be added. So the reality is, there's really no point in talking about him, because depending on your situation, you either need to pick them up regardless, or there's going to be better options. And one of those better options, it might be Derek Carr. Derek Carr.
Pick him up.
Yeah, there you go. You're going to have to, right? Derek Carr, last 3 weeks, 22 points, 23 points, 29 points. Like, even when he's not playing good, he still puts up good numbers.
Yeah, if he could learn how to capitalize in the red zone, he would be outstanding this year.
Yeah, he is horrendous in the red zone.
So horrendous.
Bad. Yeah, but still over 300 yards each of the last 3 weeks. Like, he's a gunslinger. He's going to get you yards, a couple touchdowns here and there, and it's going to look ugly as he gets there, but, you know, in a pinch, my quarterback's on a bye. You know, he's an interesting option. That's all I wanted to bring up.
Yeah. So for me, it's someone who's just been horrible this year. I like the idea of going and getting Daniel Jones.
Okay.
I don't know what his like percent ownership is, but I'm almost guarantee he's available on most benches or on most waivers, at least in leagues that I'm in. I've seen him get dropped. I dropped him in a league. He's just not been good. So
Daniel Jones is rostered in 33% of leagues.
Yeah, so like I'm going to grab him in leagues. He's already had success in this league. His team's starting to look a little bit better. We'll see what he can do. I mean, let's see. Let's look at their schedule coming up.
I got it pulled up right here. Buffalo, Washington, Jets, Raiders, Cowboys.
Buffalo. Wait, no, he's got Raiders right now. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking. He hasn't played. He hasn't
Raiders,
played in a couple weeks.
Raiders, Cowboys, Commanders, Patriots at home, Packers. So Raiders, Max Crosby makes people's lives hell, but they're not a good team. Cowboys, that'll be really tough. But then you have the Commanders who give up points. Patriots at home, like there's just still not that impressive without Gonzalez and Judon. Packers at home, I mean, Monday Night Football. And then you go to the Saints and Eagles late in the season, which would be playoff time. So I think check your, if you have a Josh Allen, check your bye week. If it's with that Commanders week, I think he's a very startable asset there. But I'm grabbing him just because he's got those quarterback cheat codes that you look for. He can get you 70 yards on the ground, maybe a touchdown. So.
Yeah, man, I hear what you're saying. Like Daniel Jones should be a good quarterback. Like he should be putting up numbers, but he has had a terrible start to the season. He had one good game.
Yeah, the Giants as a whole, their defense was horrible. Everything was horrible. Daniel Jones is not a team. He's not a quarterback where you can fall behind and then he's going to pass you back into the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So when your defense is horrible, unfortunately, that's the game script that they played in a lot early in the season. But this defense is playing really good. They should have won that game against the Jets. I mean, they had it in the bag. 24 seconds, Zach Wilson has the ball to score a field goal, and he somehow does. So, I don't know. It's worth a shot in my book.
Yeah, Dobbs, I get that.
Worth a shot. And then Carr, like, what he is. Bears is a great matchup to start him again, great team to start him against the Bears. So.
Absolutely. And then now, lastly, I just wanted to bring up some streaming defenses. If you guys are looking to pick up a streaming defense, there was two on my list here. The Falcons are owned in only 28% of leagues. They're taking on Minnesota this week. Is it going to be Dobbs or is it going to be Jaron Hall? Regardless, I think the Falcons have a good play this week.
I like the Chargers as well. I don't know what their owned is, especially after playing the Bears last week, but that was a team that I looked to pick up, play the Bears, and then this week the Jets.
They're owned in only 6%. They're available out there.
Yeah, Chargers. I mean, I don't remember what they put up last week, but I remember being happy.
They put up 10 points.
I mean, they had a couple picks. What was it? 1 or 2 picks? I don't know. Anyways, I like the Chargers against Zach Wilson. Who was your second team there?
It was the Falcons and the Giants taking on the Raiders.
That was my other team who I was going to say. Another team that last week.
21%.
Yeah, another team last week that, started me against the Jets. I rostered them in a couple leagues, but
the last 2 weeks they've been dominant. 15 points and 13 points.
Yeah, I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau's been on fire, getting sacks.
Yes.
So I agree. Giants, I like them a lot. Chargers, Falcons. They said Jalen. What's his name? Jalen Hall.
Jaron Hall.
Jaron Hall What was I looking him up? I couldn't find him.
You were trying to look him up, Jalen?
Jalen, like, I don't even know, Carr or something. I was like, why can't I find this guy? Or Hole or something. But anyways, yeah, I like that. We've talked about the Vikings, talked about Tune with Arizona. What about Stafford's day-to-day? If he doesn't play this week, who's their starting quarterback?
Oh my God, I don't even know. It's definitely not Stetson Bennett, right?
Is he even on the team? Didn't he go to rehab?
Did he go to? You went to rehab?
Yeah, for maybe it was something behavioral. I don't. He left the team for a while.
Okay, Stetson hold on. I'm looking it up.
News. Absence. Yeah. Stetson Bennett's mysterious Rams absence likely to stretch through the entire season. So he's not even there.
Brett Ripien.
Okay, that's concerning.
Yeah, he's going to be the starter if Stafford is a no-go.
And then I saw that they picked up Wolford.
Oh, he's back? Yep.
He's back.
Yep.
Yeah, so they signed him to the practice squad. Wolford. Jay Wolford. John Wolford? No. Yeah, no. Bucks to sign John Wolford. Sign. Tried to pluck Wolford. Oh, so the Rams tried to sign Wolford off of the Bucks practice squad, and then the Bucks said nope and signed him to their active roster. So they cucked the Rams.
All right.
Anyways.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for waivers. Let's talk about a little bit more in depth the trade deadline, because I know we talked about.
We already talked Dobbs. Yeah. I don't think we need to go there.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Well,
I don't think we need to go Dobbs. The only thing we can talk about with him is how do you think that affects Hawkinson, Addison, JJ coming back? I think that's worth talking about, but we went into depth about Dobbs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we'll dive in more a little bit later throughout the week and talk about how their matchups are, maybe on a Sunday start sit. Once we find out more information with Jaron Hall and get more information on it.
Did you not listen to anything I said?
No, I did.
I asked you a question.
Oh, you asked me a question?
Yeah.
I must have
completely spaced out on what I said.
I didn't hear a question from you.
I said, how do you think Dobbs to Minnesota affects?
Oh, I thought you were saying hypothetically we would say that. No, if you're asking me that question right now, I was
like, what do you just disregard everything I just asked?
No. So I look at it as it's a downgrade in targets. It's Kirk Cousins
not going to
sling
really the ball 45 times. Is what you're trying to say? Yeah.
No, he's not. You're not going to have the amount of targets. Hawkinson takes a hit. Addison takes a hit. JJ takes a hit when he comes back. They're still going to produce fantasy-wise. They're still going to be startable pieces.
Yeah.
Hawkinson is a beast, and that offense is still going to find a way to get them the ball, and it's still a pass-first team. They got Cam Akers to bring them in to improve their run game, but it hasn't really came to fruition. So it's a pass-first team, and Dobbs will be able to get them the ball. But they're not all going to be able to eat in the same game.
Yeah, I think Hawkinson takes the least blow.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, I think. We've seen Dobbs utilize the tight end quite often for the Cardinals. I just think he's comfortable making that throw. So I could see Hawkinson not taking too much of a blow.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Justin Jefferson's just so good at football. So it's like,
yeah.
you know.
Well, he's going to be open and he'll get him there. Like Dobbs is good enough to get the ball there. So,
yeah. I wouldn't be that worried as you were with Jaron Hall, but definitely it takes a hit. So
yeah, everything else we can be brief. I mean, Chase Young reuniting with Nick Bosa, that's significant.
The rich get richer.
Yeah, so I think they still need to get Trent Williams back. I mean, you know, Purdy's concerning. He's clearly been exposed these last few games. When they don't have quote unquote aliens. I forgot who said that. It was someone on McAfee's show or oh no, it was Taylor Lewan. Busting with the boys. He said he heard from someone inside the league that Purdy is going to be completely exposed when he doesn't have the aliens around him. You know, referring to Trent Williams, referring to Debo, referring to that full unit, which we've seen. So, anyways, Chase Young there makes that team, that defense more scary than they already are.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
The Bears. The Bears got Montez Sweat.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I like it. It's to me, it's that off-season move in season where, you know, it's a piece for next year and moving forward. We needed help on the D line, and Montez Sweat's a good piece. I would have rather had Chase Young, but beggars can't be choosers in this aspect, you know. I just think he makes our defense better. He makes our defensive line better and our defense as a whole, and we'll be in a better spot going into next year.
And gonna sign him, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he'll be on the team he'll get a contract for 3 to 4 years for sure.
Yeah, and then Jalen Johnson. I mean, what's going on there? I know there was a lot of trade talk. There's a lot of trade talk. He then didn't get traded and said that he's not going to talk about a contract the rest of the year, and he's going to free agency.
Yeah, so he's not going to want to re-sign with the Bears. He's clearly unhappy.
Why not fucking pull the trigger on something?
It's the Bears organization. I don't know what.
Did you see that? What did you see that? Like the Steelers gave a very strong offer.
No, I didn't see that. They did.
Yes, there was a market for him, and there was a strong offer by the Steelers, and
the Bears chose to do nothing.
Yeah. So, and then like he hates them, so like out of spite, he's just gonna. Like, was that a spite move by the Bears being like, oh, you don't tell us what to do?
I can't see that being the case. But like, I don't agree with a lot of
normal organization like a normal organization wouldn't do that. But like, did the Bears? Is that really how fucking petty they are? Is that why they suck as an organization?
It's a possibility, Kulz. It's a possibility, you know?
Jeez.
So,
Leonard Williams to the Seahawks, huge trade there. That'll stack up that defensive line. And then DPJ is really the only one. Obviously, Rasul Douglas to the Bills, they needed someone in the secondary. DPJ to Detroit to fill in that Marvin Jones role that I guess they feel like Jamison Williams, who keeps dropping balls, cannot fill. I don't know that there's any fantasy relevance here. But Ezra Cleveland, guard for the Jaguars, he's going to be a starter over there. So yeah, there wasn't really much fantasy relevant moves at the deadline, but still wanted to talk about it and get that information to you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's important to note, you know, fantasy football is not just all offense. It's that defense has a huge aspect of it. So, all
right, you got to get on the road. We're gonna do our Q&A, but you're not gonna be distracted. This is safe, right?
Yeah, no, I'm. And
good. You're not in an 18-wheeler, so
no. I am not in.
Buckle up, right?
What the
fuck, dude? That was bad. That basically exposes us as frauds.
No, that's just me not being on my A game. That's all.
Oh, come on, dude. All right.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, if you say so. Well, I think this would be a good time for me to grab a protein shake and do a taste review.
Yeah, I
Why,
think
why
so.
don't you catch up? Tell the roadies. Actually, let's just do this. Well, no, you tell the roadies right now where you're driving, and I'll go get a protein shake for a taste review.
Okay, all right. I am currently on 294 South, heading out of Chicago, going to Dayton, Ohio. I feel like I go to Ohio every other week now. It's not my favorite state, but I do love the Ohio State Buckeyes, so I don't mind popping in every once in a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know who's out there listening right now, but oh man. I wonder what Kulz is grabbing. Is he grabbing a protein shake? Is he grabbing a electrolytes? I wonder what flavor he's got. Curious.
All right, I got one.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Ooh. You ready?
Yeah, what flavor are you working with?
All right, here we go. I have a whey blend. It is Campfire S'mores.
Ooh, that sounds so good. I love me anything s'mores. I am all about it.
All right, so Rule 1 proteins. Yeah, let's do a quick taste review here. This is, as I said, a whey protein, and it is going to be s'mores. I always drink my protein shakes with almond milk.
Oh, that's interesting.
Unsweetened vanilla almond milk.
Okay.
Every single protein shake I drink, unless I make a actual smoothie.
I can get behind that.
Okay, here we go. Cheers. Wait, cheers.
Rule 1. Go to www.rule1proteins.com. Enter in promo code ROADIES40 at checkout for 40% off. I think he's gonna love this one. It's just, how do you not like s'mores? S'mores is just so good.
Man. Oh, you can really taste the marshmallow. Oh God. Yeah, this is a good one, man. Holy shit. Rule 1
I have
protein.
a feeling that's gonna be my favorite one when I try it.
Dude, Rule 1 protein is literally so much better than any protein I've ever tasted. And I'm not being biased. I've been drinking a lot of Rule 1 since high school, or I guess since after high school. Yeah.
How long has the company been around?
I want to say 23.
I should probably know that already.
I want to say about 9 years, not quite 10 years yet. I mean, I was just thinking about personally how long I have known it to be. Let's see. I was right on that. But yeah, their protein is so good, dude. I was in Louisiana and my buddy had this mass gainer, chocolate mass gainer. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Go to rule1proteins.com. Look at all these flavors. Roadie's 40. Let's get you some good tasting protein. There's no reason you need to be drinking this chocolate chalk. There's really good tasting protein out there, and Rule 1 is the leader in that. So yes, we're gonna go ahead and say, let's see. We're going to go ahead and give this a smashing success of a score. I'd go 8.8 again. I think I already gave something an 8.8.
No, you gave it an 9. You gave something a 9.8 for Connor Bedard.
And then I said 8.8 for Kaner because I needed to give it some room.
Yes.
9 years. Look at that. I was spot on.
Wow.
9 years and 5 months.
Coming on 1 decade. That's incredible.
Anyways, yeah, s'mores is delicious. All right, here we go. Let's get into some questions.
All right.
And I'll actually at the end we'll do a little Rule 1 website review or website like poke around it. But oh god, we lost Ryan. Oh, it's so good. Hey guys, I traded Garrett Wilson and DK. We got you.
Yep.
All right. Hey guys, I traded Garrett Wilson and DK Metcalf for Devonta Smith. I'm getting
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
All right, good to go.
Hey guys, Justin chats fighting. What is going on? I hope you chat MMA, and if you do, come holla at your boy at Kulz_sports. Big UFC fan. Hey guys, I traded Garrett Wilson and DK Metcalf for Devonta Smith, 3 firsts in 2 seconds in Dynasty.
Wow.
10-man, 1 QB, full PPR.
Wow.
That seems pretty rich, right? I mean, compared to what we do.
Yeah, 3 firsts. And Devonta Smith, you won that trade, Justin. In my opinion, that was a haul.
Oh, he's receiving all of those? Yeah. I mean, is that 3 firsts like the next 3 consecutive years? Because you're in a 3-year rebuild, which.
Oh, well, that's a good point. The team may had a surplus of first round picks for next year. Are all these draft picks for 2024? That would be my question.
Yeah. Well, probably not, right? So you probably, let's just say it's first and second next year, the following year, and then a first that third year. So, I would look at this as Devonta Smith, whoever you get in the first round next year, and whoever you get in the second round next year, and then that next first and second in the next one. So yeah, I mean, that's I would 100% do that in the league the dynasty league that Ryan commissions. Like,
yeah,
my team's good enough to beat anyone because it's an 8-man league. But consistently, like, I might miss the playoffs. I'll probably get 5th. I'm either going to get 4th, 5th, or 6th, and the top 4 make the playoffs. So, I would make that trade knowing that I'm going to draft studs. Yeah, I mean, I still believe in Devonta Smith. I would put him a tier below those 2 guys, but not necessarily. I don't know. He's probably right there with DK Metcalf, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Garrett Wilson's, regardless of quarterback, ahead of those 2, and then I would put DK and Devonta in the same. In the same tier, and really, depending on the person, they may have Devonta ahead of DK. And to be honest, I might be one of those people.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
So I like it. Justin chats fighting. Hit me up, Kulz_sports to chat fighting as well. Speaking of ride, December 2nd, Austin, Texas, a UFC fight night was announced today.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Comedy Mothership schedule to see if they have anything that, and I'm sure Rogan will do something like that Friday night, and then the fight's on Saturday. But I was dicking around and looked up on the website. You remember when I did it that one time with Paulo?
Yeah,
our boy Paulo. I looked yesterday or this morning, and I see fucking Shane Gillis on there. I'm like, dude, what?
Wow.
And I see
he's
buy
an option.
tickets. And I click on it, freaking out, and then they both say sold out. I was like, no.
Oh.
Sometimes it says sold out underneath it. So I don't even have to like get my heart broken. But Shane Gillis and friends. Yep. Sure enough, I clicked on every single one this week. There's a night show sold out. I think he's like the next 3 nights, and they're all sold out. And then Joe Rogan and friends as well is the next few nights, all sold out.
Damn.
So I need to figure out how they post their tickets. We'll say that. But Kenny Stay Trill, what's going on, brother?
Kenny Stay Trill. What's going on?
Kenny Stay Trill. He's got a pretty cool looking picture too.
I see that.
Yeah. Should I trade Cooper Kupp and DK for Diggs? Full PPR, 10 team. I still have Higgins, Ayuk, Flowers, and Palmer. Kupp and DK for Diggs is too rich for my liking.
That is correct. I would not be doing that. Kupp is coming off of 2 bad games. Stafford is dealing with that injury, but I still like Kupp and DK over Diggs. I think the combo is still more valuable in my opinion.
Yeah, full PPR. So I'd like to know how many flex. Is there 1 flex? And then you can do Kupp, DK, Ayuk with Higgins, Flowers, Palmer, sliding in on bye weeks. But I that's too rich for my blood. Kupp and DK for Diggs. I mean,
Yeah, I
would
agree.
I would try to counter them with like Kupp and Flowers for Diggs. If he needs some depth, I think you could probably work something out there. But those 2, no.
Yeah.
Travis, hey guys.
What's going on?
The Australian Cowboys fan who Shane O'Mac is hopefully best friends with soon. My 10 team is Purdy, Love, Walker, Pollard, Kupp, Godwin, Hawkinson, Lockett. I have Jettas. I'm hoping Jettas comes back and Stafford gets healthy. But anything you think I should do? Pollard, Walker, I like that. Kupp, Godwin, Lockett with Jettas, Hawkinson. I think that I wouldn't necessarily do anything there, to be honest, Brad. I don't know that Love is going to do much for you, so I would look to see like
he's almost droppable right now.
Yeah, and like Purdy from a football standpoint is worrisome with Trent Williams gone, but fantasy wise, he's still been producing. You can probably drop
Trent should be
Jordan
back
Love
soon too, right?
I hope so. Let's look that up. Trent Williams.
Yeah, I thought he was progressing to possibly start this week.
Not expected to play in Niners matchup against Bengals. Let's see. Injury. Update. I know you love when I just talk about what I type. He said he's trying to get Will Levis off waivers right now. Yeah, I don't necessarily love that either. I think you said it was 10 team. Like, I don't necessarily.
I think Levis is. I feel like I would rather have Levis over Love right now. In the current standpoint, currently. Like I have Jordan Love on a couple teams, and I'm dropping him this week. There's better options out there.
Yeah, I just don't know that I would ever start Levis over Purdy, but yeah, I don't know. I like your team, Brad. Thanks for the question. Jettas is going to be coming back. It sounds like sooner rather than later is what we were told by Rappaport today. So we could see him coming back, what week is he due back from the IR? Do you know, Truck?
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Jefferson return.
I think it's after next week.
If they let him sit through the bye week, he is expected week 13.
No, that doesn't sound right.
No. Week 5. He's coming back sooner than later. Happened on week 5. He missed a win, minimum of 4.
And they have a week 11 bye? Or 12?
Let's see. Whoop. Justin, where's Justin? There he is. They have a week 13 bye. So,
wow, yeah.
It looks like he's coming back week 10. Week 10 is when he can come back. I think that's when we should expect to see him back. So you're going to be good, Brad, as long as you can weather the storm, hang tight, try to find a quarterback maybe. But, I like your team hanging there. Johnny D. I am
Johnny D.
2-6 in the best team in the league. I am 2-6. The best team in the league is looking to acquire one of my running backs for receiver. Who would you trade away in this group? ETN, definitely not. Swift, DeAndre Swift.
I would trade Jacobs. No?
Jacobs, A-Chain. Yeah, you could probably get a lot for Jacobs. I like that. They almost traded him to the Ravens today, but the Raiders are another incompetent organization and didn't get the deal done.
Oh, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely not ETN or Swift. A-Chain could be a league winner. Honestly, at 2-6, at 2-6, their receivers are Olave, Puka, Godwin, Pittman, Jordan Addison. Gosh, I don't really like any of those receivers enough. I was going to tell them, at 2-6, if you need to win bad, Jags are on the bye, trade ETN, and get Olave and Addison, or Olave and Pittman. I just don't like any of those guys enough. I don't think Olave is elite enough, and then I don't.
No.
I don't know. None of those guys.
I would rather have Josh Jacobs over all of those wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah, his receivers suck. I don't know how he's the best team in the league.
That's a good point. I wonder who his running backs are. Well, he
doesn't need
one.
He's
looking to get
yeah. Johnny D, I'm concerned about this league. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning. Anyways, that is it for questions and a little Q&A. Yeah. Well, I'd say we just wrap it up, Ryan.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. We're live every episode on YouTube at youtube.com/sportsethos. Please like, subscribe, click the bell for future drops. And as always, Rule 1 Proteins is the best. Go to www.rule1proteins.com. Enter in promo code ROADIES40 at checkout to get 40% off. If you're looking to get back in the gym or looking to re-up your supplement game, whatever the case may be, Rule 1 Proteins has got the best stuff on the market, the best tasting stuff on the market. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. And follow us on Twitter while you're at it. Support the show. It's at Fantasy Roadshow. at Kulz_sports, at fantasy_trucker. And if you want to go ahead and get our weekly articles every week, go follow our Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com.
Yeah. Rule 1, you mentioned that their taste, like, it's by far the best supplement company out there. So check it out. Regardless if you work out or you just want, a meal replacement or protein bars, just check out their website. They got a ton of stuff. And multivitamins, fruits and veggies, antioxidants, literally anything. Up your health game with Rule 1. And you also mentioned the Substack. I do want to say something about that. We've been a little off our A game. We're having a conversation this evening to figure out exactly what we want to do with all of our social handles, and Substack obviously being one of those. So stay tuned. We will have an update on that probably by our next episode's tomorrow or
tomorrow
or
night
Thursday?
we will be, or no, yeah, I guess today's Tuesday. It'll be Thursday night for Thursday Night Football.
Is that when we're doing red light, green light?
Oh, no. I'm all
So
twisted.
tomorrow, red light, green light. We should have an update for you on, we need to, basically what I'm trying to say is we need to commit to like having an Instagram that is active and adds value, or figuring out where to put our time in the content and give it to you guys as best and as effective as we can. So anyways, stay tuned for our update there. We have a couple questions now. Johnny D says it's a shit family league that nobody hardly makes deals. I could have guessed that by the best team having Olave, Nakua, Godwin, Pittman, Addison. I don't know. You should be able to string together a couple wins here.
Yeah, Kulz, actually, can I say something? I had an idea and I didn't mention it to you. The trade deadline is right around the corner. And I feel like a lot of people are looking to make trades to set themselves up in a good spot for the playoffs. And I kind of wanted to do a little segment with you in a future episode, maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, of negotiation tactics. How would you feel about doing a segment on negotiation tactics to help people like Johnny D in leagues that they don't make deals on? I was recently helping a buddy of mine that I consult his fantasy team with, and I was trying to teach him how to go about getting a deal done, and he was able to get a trade done. He got a running back for Puka, traded for DeAndre Swift. So
love it.
So I just thought that was maybe useful information for the roadies.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how my brain comprehends that, because I would say that I think that I'm good at getting deals done. I just don't know it's very orthodox, so to try to put it on paper is going to be difficult. But yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, maybe something we can workshop.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny D, I am 2-6 by, get this, having every loss happen by one player on my opponent's team having a crazy boom game. It is absolutely annoying when it happens. Johnny D, I feel you for sure. I always get too emotionally invested in my fantasy teams, and I always get fucked. Let's put it that way. Not always, but I feel like I get fucked more than I don't. So I feel your pain. What I like to say is that the fantasy gods are always watching. So whenever I have a big matchup, I try to be a really good person that week. I try to, maybe compliment people more, give back. And I try to do anything I can to just get good karma on my side. So I would suggest doing that. If there's someone that you see that might be down on their luck or having a bad day, give them a hug, something like that. Just that is what I feel.
Also,
is the best way to get rid of that luck or that bad luck.
I don't know what platform your fantasy league is on. If I had to guess, it's either ESPN or Yahoo. I would recommend trying to convert, either spearheading it yourself or talking the commissioner into converting it to Sleeper. And in Sleeper, they have this one format where you have an extra game against league median. So I've had
Dude.
seasons in previous years.
Dude, this is a shitty family league. You're gonna try to implement league medians in there?
I'm just saying, here's what I was going to say. I've had leagues where I'm the highest scorer. I have the most points scored, yet I'm in like the bottom half of the league. And it was so aggravating until I switched to Sleeper and I started having a league median. If you score in the top half of your league, you get an extra win that week. If you score in the bottom half of your league, you get an extra loss. So that combats those games where your team goes off, but one player on their team happens to have a massive game, and then now it just makes for a better league. So if you don't know about league median, look into it. It makes leagues 10 times more fun. That's all I'll say.
Dude. Victor Wembanyama just won Halloween.
What did he do?
I just gotta send it to you. Can you look at it if I send it?
No, not currently. I can look at it once we're off stream.
Fuck. What if I put it on the screen?
You can try that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Oh my God. We officially have a winner of Halloween. Is Kittle a sell now that Debo is coming back?
I
No.
would say yes.
You do?
No?
I mean,
I think so.
If you can get McBride or Kincaid, sell him, but Kittle's not like just a for sure sell in my mind. He's obviously not as effective with one of those pieces being gone, but the offense is better, just period. So, it's one of those things, all ships rise. But I would, if you can get someone solid like Kincaid or McBride, then consider it. Sell high. Make sure you get market value there.
You can even pick up McBride if he's on the waiver wire this week, and then sell
That's what I
high
mean.
on Kittle. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that, but I wouldn't just sell because he's coming back. Let's see if I can get this before our next question. Rashad White or Gus Edwards? Is this rest of season, Nicholas, or is this this week? Because I think that's very important.
What would you say for rest of season?
Rest of season, I would say Rashad White. This week, who do we have? What are the matchups? Let's see. Bucks have NFL week 9. Rangers are up 5-0 on the D-backs. Week 9. Ravens are at home against the Seahawks. That's a good matchup. And then the Bucks are at Texans. It's not necessarily the worst matchup. I think I would have in a PPR league that changes things entirely, as Rashad White's had 6 receptions maybe the last 2 weeks. So if it's PPR, I'm probably Rashad White. Standard, man, I don't know. Gus Edwards was really good last week.
Yes, and that offense is so good. He's on a much better team.
Is Gus Edwards, are we really saying that he's, top standard scoring? He's a top 15 back maybe if that offense is going to let him punch in. I would say I'm still Rashad White PPR standard Gus. Honestly, this week, but I'm interested in both. I would say this week I go Gus. Tell me if it's PPR and standard. I don't think it matters this week with Seahawks. They did just get Leonard Williams, so that's interesting. But Ravens at home, Gus Edwards eats, I think, as opposed to at Texans, Bucks. So, I had Higgins.
I think, either way, I think I go Gus Edwards.
Okay. Why don't you take a look over here?
Are you trying to pull it up?
Yeah. This is the winner of Halloween, everyone. Do you see it?
It's so small. Can you full screen it?
You can't see it at all?
What? Slightly. He's walking. What is he wearing?
Slender Man.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Look it
Oh,
up.
that is awesome.
Absolutely
That
incredible.
is awesome. Wemby. Bravo,
Wemby
Wemby.
as
Bravo.
Wemby as Slender Man in my mind wins Halloween.
Yeah, I love that. That is too funny.
Anyways, all right, so fucking funny. Travis Dobson, our boy, is back. He says it is PPR.
Travi.
To be honest, Truck was pretty convincing, or he was pretty confident in his rest of season and week as Gus Edwards. I hope that's the case. I mean, I have them both, so it doesn't matter, but I do like seeing Gus Edwards succeed. But I'd probably go. Yeah, I'm just going receiving upside with Rashad. I mean, dude, he's been catching 6 balls a game, 7 balls a game. Let's see. And I just don't think that slows down because Baker's so reliant. Six targets, 6 receptions for 65 yards week 7, 7 for 70 in week 8. The rushing really hasn't been there. He hasn't really been scoring touchdowns. So that I just don't know that Gus is going to give you a touchdown a game the rest of the year. If he does, great. But yeah, Higgins. I had Higgins plus DK on my bench this week. Can't fit them on my team. Should I trade them both for the wide receiver one? Yes. 100% Travis. I love doing 2-for-1s in general. That being said, like DK and Higgins is really that's a lot. So I would go for CD, AJ Brown, your true tier 1 wide receiver ones. I'm sure Ryan agrees because we love packaging to up 2-for-1s. And honestly, I think Truck is going through a bad area, but that about does it. That is our waiver wire episode. Thoughts on Cup for them both? I don't really love that. To be honest, that's too rich. If you can get like CD, AJ Brown, Diggs. I mean, even Diggs. We just said that. Let's see. I'll tell you right now, Travis, exactly who I would do for it. Season. Already got CD. Good for you. Tyreek Hill, Diggs. I don't want to see a projection. I want to see true stats. There we go. Tyreek, AJ Brown, Diggs. CD. Other wide receivers, Flowers. Am I better off sending them with one of the others? So you're saying it would be like DK and Flowers for Cup? I would try Higgins and Flowers. You would do DK and Flowers for Cup?
I would rather do Higgins and Flowers for Cup, but I would consider DK and Flowers.
Start with Higgins and Flowers. Try that. If he doesn't bite, then go DK and Flowers for Cup, and then end there. I like it. Buy low on Cup. Happy Australian Shane O'Mac. I love it. Drop Kyle Pitts or Warren for McBride. Warren, I assume you mean Jalen Warren. I have Kincaid 2, 10-team league. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mess it. There you go. Truck is dropping Pitts for McBride. So I will let. Yeah. I will. Yeah. Travis, what part of Australia are you from? Follow Truck's lead and drop Kyle Pitts for McBride. And I am curious, Travis, as to what part of Australia you are from. If we don't hear from you soon, I am going to sign us out. Melbourne. Dude, I wanted to study in Melbourne. I wanted to study in Melbourne so bad in college. And I fucking wish I did. I would love. I've been told that I would absolutely Melbourne, not Melbourne. Melbourne. Sorry, that's my American ignorance. Melbourne. Yes, Melbourne. Jason Bourne, Melbourne. No, yeah, I wanted to study in Melbourne so bad. I need to go to Australia. I've been told that it was like my dream spot. Did you just get pulled over?
No, I'm saying I would love to go to Australia too.
Very well done. I was like, oh my God, did you just say and I saw the lights.
How crazy would that be? I get pulled over on stream.
Literally the most viewers we've had all night is 5. Because I got spooked that you got pulled over. Could you imagine? Followers go up to like 500. Well, we will be back. Australian Shane O'Mac, Travis Dobson. Everyone buckle up. Ryan is currently buckled up. He is driving to Dayton, Ohio. We will see you tomorrow night for red light, green light.
Red light, green light.
And as I said before, buckle up.